Good morning. I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Monroe County Board of Commissioners. It is Wednesday, June 22nd. And all three commissioners are present at the Net U Hill meeting room at the courthouse. And we will begin with our public statement read by Commissioner Githens.
Good morning. We, the Monroe County Board of Commissioners, renew our commitment to welcome and protect the rights of all people, regardless of age, race, color, creed, disability, sexual orientation, gender, gender identity, marital status, economic status, and national origin. And we affirm the right of every person to live peacefully and without fear, and we will fight and resist at every step discrimination and harmful policies, whatever their source. We also stand in support of our county public school systems, both RBB and MCCSC.
Right, thank you so much. I'm going to, we have an agenda item we would like to add. I'm going to make a motion to add item F to our agenda, which is an agreement with Barnes and Thornburg not to exceed $50,000.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any comments? Okay, all those in favor of adding agenda item F, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Next, we have our department updates. And we have Ms. Cottle here from the Health Department.
Good morning.
Morning.
Penny Cottle, Monroe County Health Department. I wanted to give you just a couple of updates in general. Our COVID-19 cases do continue to be stable, although transmission is still high. And hospital numbers are remaining steady and deaths so far are remaining low. So that's the good side of that high transmission level. So we still need to be cautious, be aware that there's still a lot of virus that's circulating, but especially the vaccine is keeping people out of the hospital and not having severe disease or death. The CDC community level this week is still at low. That is updated every Thursday. So we will always look at that on Thursday and make sure nothing's surprised us and that that's changed. Monday, our average number of cases were down to 27. That's kind of on that rolling week average, and cases per 100,000 or per 10,000, excuse me, we're at 52. So just kind of an update. We are seeing, not a lot of change, but a little bit. So we're watching that very closely. In terms of vaccinations, so good news in terms of vaccinations, children 6 months to 5 years are now eligible for COVID vaccine. Our staff is anxiously awaiting and preparing for the vaccine to arrive, for us to prepare it, to make sure staff are trained and prepared for this age group. And we expect to be starting those vaccinations next week. So it's possible it could come earlier, but we got to get staff trained for this. And the vaccine is coming kind of in waves. So you're getting a shipment here and a shipment there to make sure everybody gets a little bit. You can make an appointment at our public health clinic on Miller Drive by calling 812-353-3244. And that is our public health clinic on Miller Drive. So they can schedule an appointment for you. We'll have all vaccines available and make sure that anybody who's eligible and needs vaccine can get that. Also that I would say we're still working. I anticipate that we may not be back up on that vaccine map until closer to the end of next week for July. We had some hours shift in July and they just did the one change. It looks like they didn't go ahead and update June. So we're waiting for that to be updated, but that should happen soon. Home tests are available. We still have those at the Monroe County Health Department. So individuals, if they have run out of what they ordered from the federal government, for example, or they just need a couple extras, they can come in and get 2 per person for their household. And they can come into our office at on 7th Street from 8 to 4. They can go to the public health clinic and get those as well. And then we're also distributing those to shelters, other agencies that may need them that serve more vulnerable populations. So we have some plans in place as well to get those out to other groups that may need them. So we're excited about having that possibility and that option for individuals. So if you can't get online and order them, but you can send somebody to get them for you, or you can come in, we'd be happy to do that. Our nurses will have them at outreaches that they do as well. And then on the non-COVID front, monkeypox is of course making the news. So as of June 17th, there were 113 cases reported in 20 states and Washington, DC. 2 cases have been reported in Indiana so far. So the main thing to remember is this is still rare. We are seeing this increase, so that's where the concern is. And the risk to the general population is still low. So just want to reassure people about that. But there's lots of good information out there. The CDC website can walk through what the rash is what's most contagious, and that can be even in your mouth or on your body. So it's really close contact with somebody with those symptoms. So pay attention to what's coming with that, but know that in general, it's not something that we need to be aware of, but we don't need to be overly concerned, just cautious and aware. And then the last thing that I want to do today is introduce Lori Kelly. So Lori will take over as the administrator on July 15th, and she started last week. So we're very grateful to have this overlap so that she can meet other department heads, learn county processes, all of those things. So we're excited to get her going. Lori comes to us with a master's degree in both health administration and philanthropy. She has a grant proposal and management certificate and is assisted in HRSA grant proposals for the IU School of Dentistry. Her healthcare experience gave her experience in accreditation. So you know that we're wanting to become an accredited health department. So that will be a great experience that she will bring to us. She's developed policies, procedures to ensure that accreditation standards and measures were met. And she has experience in training and developing new staff and students. She's done teaching at the university level. So we're very excited to have her join the department. So I will just introduce Lori Kelly to you.
Thank you so much.
Now just welcome Lori Kelly.
Well, welcome, Ms. Kelly. We look forward to working with you. It's really exciting, and thank you, Ms. Caudle, as always, for your update. All right, are there any other departments that have an update for us today? You can come to the microphone here in the NetU Hill room or raise your hand on the Zoom screen. Okay, seeing none, we will move on to our next agenda item, which is public comment. The public comment section on our agenda is for the comments from the public for items not on our agenda. And there's a limit of 3 minutes per speaker. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you will hear a tone. And when you hear that tone, that means you have 30 seconds to wrap up your final thoughts. If you are on Zoom and you wish to join in this public comment section, please raise your hand on the Zoom screen, but we always take commenters from within NetU Hill first. And here we have a commenter. Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners. This is Christopher MG from the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce. We often come before you to advocate positions, both pro and con, on a number of issues. We have a role to play as a voice of business in this public arena, and sometimes we agree and sometimes we are at odds. But that's a good thing for democracy. Today, I want to commend the commissioners on their effort and their work on behalf of Monroe County residents. On the judicial front, last December, the county was recognized as exceptional by the state for its juvenile detention alternatives initiatives. Chamber applauds the effort in reducing racial and ethnic disparities. Along the same lines, we are encouraged by the recent progress we have seen by the Criminal Justice Response Committee. Margie Rice has been an outstanding facilitator in this group. The results will go a long way in creating a new and innovative justice center. And with the new funding available, we anxiously await seeing a progressive 21st century method of incarceration with a shared goal of reducing recidivism and providing a pathway for those in our legal system to become contributing members of our community. Finally, we are pleased to see the planned limestone heritage site come together with the purchase of those 70 acres on the northwest side of the interchange of State Road 46 and I-69. This is a real opportunity to develop and mold a tourist beacon that uniquely captures our history and the entire Uplands region. I thank you for your time this morning, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Does anyone else have comments for items not on our agenda? Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come up to the podium. Okay, seeing none, we will move on with our next item. Item 5, please.
Move approval of the minutes for June 8th, 2022.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, corrections, edits?
Not for me.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes of June 8th, 2022 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of the claims docket, payroll June 17th, 2022, and accounts payable June 22nd, 2022.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second, and we have Mr. Miller joining us via Zoom. Good morning. Tell us all about it, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. The total for claims was very large. It accounted for 2 weeks, of course, and also included settlement. And having said that, the total was $112,142,727.09. $109,421,423.33 was for that settlement distribution for spring of 2022, followed by $731,118 for Comerica Bank and Trust for 2022 pension payment for our Sheriff's Department, $355,352.70 was for Anthem Inc. For June claims as well as stop loss. $333,801 was for Area 10 Rural Transit primarily for the first quarter FTA or Federal Transit Administration operating grant. And finally, wrapping up the larger expense items, $330,000 was for E&B Paving Inc. For billing number 1 of Cars Farm Greenway Phase 2. As far as the total for payroll, it was $1,730,997.80, $1,219,061.51 were for the direct costs of payroll, and the remaining $511,936.29 were for indirect costs.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Miller. We probably should not take off settlement week again in the future.
It's really scary, yeah.
Yes, excellent. Okay, so let's see if there are comments or questions. Commissioner Githens,
No, thanks.
Commissioner Jones,
No.
any public comment on this item? Okay. Seeing none, we'll come back for a vote. All those in favor of approving the claims docket payroll June 17th, 2022 and accounts payable June 22nd, 2022 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. I
Thank you.
will note that, thank you again. I will note that we have received a report from the treasurer, and this is for May of 2022. We will now move on to new business, please.
Move approval of the change order number 1 with Fox Construction, fund name 2018 GO bond, fund number 4811, in an amount of $1,408.05.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Ms. Ridge, tell us all about it, please.
Good morning. The change order is for the highway garage remodel project that's ongoing. The space was originally for a small dorm refrigerator. It's been changed to a trash recycle bin with a track in it. The change order cost is actually within the contingency amount, so it will not increase the overall project cost.
Excellent. Thank you so much. we're getting down to brass tacks, as they say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep, rain,
okay.
Florence, and flooring this week, so that's nice.
Excellent. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
I hope it gets completed soon so you can get moved out there.
We'll be there before winter. It'll probably be in August. I
Oh.
think furniture is scheduled to be installed August 8th, and that'll take 2 weeks. And that should be about the final piece.
Excellent. Commissioner Jones?
Just very pleased to hear it's moving along so nicely.
Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Either raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in the Nat U Hill room. Okay, seeing none, we'll come back for a vote. All those in favor of change order number 1 with Fox Construction signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Next item, please.
Move approval of Soft Choice Adobe Acrobat Pro DC Enterprise Level Licensing. Fund name, cumulative capital, fund number 1138-30041 in an amount of $44,265.90.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and we have Mr. Evans joining us. Good morning.
Hello, there's no pen at the podium to sign,
Ah.
and I'm just giving you a heads up on that. Today we're talking, first I have a correction to make. Looking at the actual quote, when they sent me the quote, they included tax on that, and of course, we don't pay tax. So the actual amount that you're voting on is $41,370.
I will make a motion to amend the motion on the Adobe Acrobat Pro DC Enterprise Level Licensing to an amount of $41,370.
Second.
Any public comment on that motion to amend? Seeing none, all those in favor of amending the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. And will you continue, sir?
Okay, so obviously Adobe Acrobat is a central part of doing business in today's day and age. It's something that we have held off on buying enough licenses so the bulk of our staff can have a copy. And I think within the last year and a half, that has changed enough that we really need to start including Acrobat as our base image that goes out with our machines that we deploy. So for the past year and a half, I've been working on trying to get this to a price point that we can live with. Adobe Acrobat is not an inexpensive program. Most people use it just to convert a Word document to a PDF, and they don't understand why they should have to pay a couple $100s for that. But that's the way the market is. A couple of things about this particular deal that are nice. Number one, with this being an enterprise level deal, it's scalable. So we're starting out with 350 licenses. As we need to add more people, we can do it a la carte. We can do it in one, we can add two, instead of having to add groups of 100 or 500, which is how we had been structured before. So when we do exhaust the 350, which I think will be a little ways from now, we can start adding people and just pay that a la carte cost. A couple other things that are included in this enterprise level package that'll be helpful down the road. I had been working with the outgoing recorder to look at getting OCR solutions. OCR, of course, stands for optical character recognition. It's what happens when you take a scan of a document and you turn that into words that are then searchable in a database. This deal bundles in the Acrobat OCR as part of that. So maybe that'll work for the recorder's needs, but if not, we can look at getting some third-party product, but we're getting this as part of the deal. So, I figured we'd go ahead with it. The other thing that's included as part of this that they typically license separately is the PDF/A designation. That is the archival standard where they bundle the fonts along with that document, and that PDF file is meant to last a good 100 years longer than otherwise. That's included in this licensing. So it's a pretty good deal. And I hope you vote yes for it.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Comments, questions, Commissioner Giffen?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Jones?
It does sound like a good deal.
Yeah, as always, you have found us a bargain, so thank you for that. Appreciate it, as always. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Either raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come up to the podium in the Nat U Hill room. Seeing none, we'll come back for a vote. All those in favor of the amended motion for Soft Choice Adobe Acrobat Pro DC Enterprise Software, or sorry, licensing, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our next item, please.
Move approval of Limestone Nomad Service Agreement, Fund name and reverting contractual, fund number 1179-30006-0000 in an amount of $150.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and we have Ms. Whitmer here to tell us all about it. Good morning.
Excellent. Good morning. We have senior day at the fair. Everyone's invited. Tuesday, June 28th. Lunch is 12 to 1, bingo is 1 to 2:30. And with that, we have a musical group, Nomad, the group, and we would pay them $150 for 1 hour of bluegrass music. So do you have any questions?
Sounds like a great idea. Commissioner Githens, comments, questions?
I think it's really fun that you provide lunch,
Oh, we.
or it's just during the lunch hour.
Oh, it's during lunch hour. We
Okay.
do bingo and some fun socialization. We've been doing this over 20 years, I believe. So it's a lot of fun.
It's a
So-
great idea. Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Is there any public comments on this item? Either raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in the Nat U Hill room. All right, seeing none, we'll come back for a vote. All those in favor of approving the agreement with Limestone Nomad signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0. Thank
Thank
you. Next item, please.
Move approval of ordinance 2022-18, amendment to Monroe County Code 260 regarding courthouse rental.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Purdy, tell us all about it.
Yes, good morning. This is just an update to our current courthouse rental agreement that we have, and we're making some changes in that we are requesting that security be increased to $45 per hour. And janitorial services, should they exceed the normal expectations of an event, because janitorial services is a standard 100, but if there is excessive cleaning that's required, we will add an additional $45 to that, which will be deducted from the security deposit. And the other thing I wanted to make a note of is we would like to strike, it doesn't show it on the document, but we'd like to strike item B under 260-3. That indicates approved uses may have their use canceled for a higher priority within 48 hours of their event. And that's, we find that that's obviously not fair to some people who are planning a very large event. And I think the only time we've ever had to cancel anything was due to a pandemic. So kind of trumps everything that's going on in the world at that point in time. So
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
Yes, I'm not happy about the 48 hours cancellation. Especially when somebody's been planning something for 6 months.
correct.
I think if we have a pandemic, we generally, or something like that, unless it's occurred just right within that 48 hours, I think we generally know more than 48 hours beforehand for cancellation purposes. So I'd like to see us expand that if possible.
So do you mean to qualify it? Or do you mean to delete that? Or what would you, what are you?
Well,
proposing?
I would be much more comfortable with a week prior
Mhm.
rather than just 2 days, but that's me personally. You know, when we see things that like Downtown Bloomington Inc., when they do the Christmas program,
Mhm.
they plan that for months in advance. And so to think that we could cancel that in 48, with only 48 hours notice, doesn't quite seem fair to the organizers.
Yeah, that's, I mean, and sometimes we have people who have weddings and the last thing you'd want to do is cancel somebody's wedding. And we've not had to cancel any meetings, or any events. But it does cause just some concern, and the very fact that's on there does seem to be restrictive to the community if they have reserved the facility. And this covers both the inside and the outside of the grounds.
Yeah.
So are you suggesting, Ms. Purdy, that we just delete that altogether?
Yes, sorry, I obviously was not clear on that. That should have been shown as a strikeout on the document.
Gotcha.
I'm good
Okay.
with that.
Okay. I bet because does not appear in our packet or to the public as a strikeout, as a strike through, then I'm going to go ahead and make a motion to amend this, even though it's, you're aware of it, just so that it's official. I'm going to move that for ordinance 2022-18, that we amend item 260-3, deleting item B as in boy off of that. Okay, does that work?
Second that.
All right, we have a motion and we have a second. Let's see if there's any comment on the amendment to the motion. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium. Seeing none, all those in favor of amending the ordinance 2022-18 signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries to create an amendment. Anything else, Commissioner Githens?
Not for me, thank you.
Commissioner Jones?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay, let's see if there's any public comment on the amended motion. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in the Nat U Hill room. I think this is a win-win, win-win. So thank you for all this work. With that, I will call, call for a vote on the amended ordinance 2022-18. All those in favor of that signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. All right, let me make a note. Okay, now we'll move on to the next one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, don't we have to vote on the,
We just did.
we
We voted
to
on an
amend it?
amendment and we voted on the.
Oh,
amended
okay,
motion.
okay,
Yep, we're all
sorry.
good. Thank you.
Try to wake up. Move approval of the agreement with Health Net for prenatal care, fund name, local health maintenance fund, fund number 1168, and an amount not to exceed $15,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and we have Ms. Caudle here to tell us all about it.
Yes, so this is a renewal. We have for many years provided funding to assist women who are pregnant with prenatal care expenses. We had it with the CHAPS Clinic, we had it with Volunteers in Medicine, and now with Health Net. So many women come in and they can get Medicaid for their delivery, but the prenatal care often falls through the cracks. And so this agreement just puts funds there for those people who might otherwise be falling through the cracks. And so it's a renewal and it's up to $15,000, and we use local health maintenance funds to cover that cost.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens?
Oh, I'm really happy to support this. We know good prenatal care leads to better outcomes for both the mother and the baby.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Commissioner Jones?
It's unfortunate that Medicaid does not cover prenatal services, but I'm very pleased that we're able to do this as
Yeah,
an
and
alternative.
there's always someone who's going to fall through. So they may be, some may be able to get it, but there may be circumstances that prevent somebody from it. And so this is really that filling that gap for those that are unable to get the
Mhm.
coverage they need.
I really applaud this effort. This is great. And it's nice to have it available in a number of places because that means you're going to reach more people, which is the key here, right?
Right.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Let's see if there's any public comments on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in the Nat U Hill room. Okay, seeing none, we'll come back for a vote. All those in favor of approving the agreement with Health Net for prenatal care signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you very
Excellent. Thank you
much.
so much. And we have our amended item F. Next, please.
Yes, move approval of the agreement with Barnes and Thornburg in an amount not to exceed $50,000.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second, and we have Mr. Schilling joining us to tell us all about it. Good morning.
Thank you very much. This is a joint engagement letter with Barnes and Thornburg. The county, the Plan Commission, and the Planning Department have recently been sued. And the county would like to retain Barnes and Thornburg. Because there are multiple defendants, they need to have this joint representation letter signed where in some cases where there's multiple parties being represented by one attorney, the interests will slightly diverge. And so they want an acknowledgement that that's a possibility, that you'll proceed anyway with one counsel representing you. So this is something that's required by the rules of ethics to have this signed. So we present that, and I guess if you're desirous of approving it, that you would authorize the president to sign it on behalf of the commissioners.
All right. Do we need to make that part of an amended motion, Mr. Schilling?
I would ask that you do that,
Okay.
please.
All right. I'm going to ask that we amend item F to include that the President of the Board of Commissioners will sign on behalf of the commissioners, given a positive vote.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any public comment on this amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor of amending the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion is amended by a vote of 3-0. And did you have anything else to add on this particular document?
No,
Okay. Comments, questions, Commissioner Githens,
No.
Commissioner Jones?
I'm just pleased that we were able to work this out.
Really good work. Thanks for organizing this. Let's see if there's any public comment on this item. Raise your hand on the Zoom screen or come to the podium in the Nat U Hill room. Thanks. Seeing none, all those in favor of the amended motion on the agreement with Barnes and Thornburg signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries
thank you.
3-0. Thank you. Excellent. All right. And we do have an important appointment today.
Yes, I move approval of the appointment of Jamie Nybel as our Monroe County Emergency Management Director.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Welcome aboard, Jamie. It'd be great to work with you. All those in favor of approving the appointment of Jamie Nybel as the Emergency Management Director signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Excellent. All right. We have just a few announcements. The next Hoosier Hills Food Bank Fresh Food Fridays is this Friday, 2333 West Industrial Park Drive. You can call 334-8374 for more information if you are in need of food assistance. The line was huge in May, and I'm going to plan to be there, and it's a great event. It's great for the community. It's just sad that we need to do it. The next blood drive will be Monday, June 27th and Thursday, June 30th. Mondays, blood drive 10 to 3, Thursday, blood drive 1 to 6. Both of those are at the Ivy Tech College, and that is in Shreve Hall. Thank you to Red Cross for your help. And if you want to make an appointment to donate blood, please go to redcross.org and look that up. We don't have any other announcements unless any of you do.
Just want to remind people they can get free COVID tests at the Health Department at 119 West 7th Street, as well as at the Miller Drive Clinic.
Great reminder. Anything else?
No, I don't.
Excellent. Okay. And so with that, we do not have a work session today. So with that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you here next Wednesday.